Hello, good morning, my friends. Welcome back. It has been a little while. If you are returning, probably noticed I kind of fell off my weekly videos again. Though I feel like I have a good explanation for it. I've been sick and I've been very busy with conventions. So the combination of those kind of overwhelmed me a little, and I've also had some thoughts about doing like these weekly videos, but I'll get to that later. First off, I am glad to see you all again. Also, like, welcome again if you're here for the first time. I am Sen. I am an artist and designer. I like to cross stitch a lot, which you will come to see by the multitude of my projects that I'm working on. I also design my own patterns, so if that's something you're interested in. And well, I might not be the most entertaining Flosstuber, but I'm glad you chose to be here watching what I've been up to, or well, in this case, what I will be up to until the end of the year. Unlike my last few videos, this is not gonna be an what did I do in these past 3 weeks, I believe, that I've been gone missing. This is more of a, because I have not taken notes of what I've been stitching on, at least not since the beginning of November or before that. So and as usual, as usual, my thoughts are a mess, as is the rest of my life, so welcome to my mess. I have been watching a lot of Flosstubes that have been doing Flosstubers that have been doing all of these fun little stitchy games, especially lately. I think there was one with a baking show that I've been seeing all over the place, and I've been wanting to get into games for quite a while. I'm usually a stitch what I want when I want kind of person, but I do have a lot of whips. I want to get a lot of progress in them, stop starting all of the new things, at least a little bit. And I've been thinking, like, what would be doable for me, because I do not watch TV, like, at all. I watch YouTube, but yeah, the thing is, I like most of the games, they seemed fun, but none of them really spoke to me personally, so I made my own. And like, I took some ideas from other games, and this is for me personally, but feel free to copy it if that's something that works for you as well. As those of you that have been watching for a while know, I am also a very passionate player of Dungeons and Dragons. I am a dungeon master, meaning like I'm the person that runs the game, for those of you that are not familiar with Dungeons and Dragons. So I am currently part of a total of 4 different groups that play every week. So I have 4 games, like 4 weekly games, 2 of which I run and 2 of which I play in. So since that is a very frequent thing for me, I was like, okay, maybe I can turn this into a game. And here we have a cat. This is Seto, for those of you that don't know. He is my little kitten. At least that's what you'd think when you watch him. He's actually almost 14 years old, but he doesn't act like it. He's a baby. Anyway, where was I? Sorry, rambling. So I play in 4 games, 2 of which I run, 2 of which I am personally a player in. And I have taken every character from all of these games. We play in groups between 4 and 6, so including the Dungeon Master. So we have, if we're like a game or a group of 6 on Fridays, for example, there's 5 players. So I've taken the characters of those 5 players, and I've given each character a project. And I've done that for all 4 games, coming up to a total of 19 characters with 19 projects assigned to them. And the way I'm doing this, for me, like, as a stitchy game, I track every critical role that they have. And like, you play Dungeons and Dragons with dice, like it's a 20-sided dice, and when you roll a 20, that is like the best thing you can get, and when you roll a 1, that's the worst you can get. And I was like, so it's not very frequent if you have like, it's a 1, or in that case a 2 out of 20 chance to get like the number that I'm using for this game. So I was like, every time a certain character rolls a 20, the project that I have assigned to them will get 100 stitches, and every time a character rolls a 1, it will be 50 stitches. So I had originally planned to do more stitches per roll, but when I started trying it out at the beginning of the month, the first game, there was a lot of those rolls. So I had one project I needed to do like almost 1,500 stitches for, and while I can do that on a good day with a total of 19 projects that might get stitches assigned to them per week, that might get out of hand really quick. So we might have a week where no stitches will get added, and we might have a week where it's multiple thousands. So I was like, no, I need to dial this down. And I think like the 150 work well where I am currently at. I've been doing this since the 1st of November. Today is the 10th. So far that has been working well for me. And now that I know, I was like, okay, now it's time to share. So that's what I've been up to. And I do feel that at this point, yeah, I'm gonna share my plans with you. So that's what this video is about. After, I think we're 7 minutes in, I've been rambling like crazy, as I want to do. So I will show you the 19 projects that I've chosen for this game. I'm not going to tell you which one I'm putting on which character, because I don't think that's interesting. You don't know them. So I'm just going to show you the projects. And I will do this until the end of the year, at least that is my plan. So I will come back at the end of November, and then we can compare how much stitches have been done and how things are looking. And then I'll also be doing it in December, and then we'll see what it looks like at the end of the year. And then it's obviously whip parade time, and then I'll see if I keep going or if I will do something else or assign different projects to these characters, so some of my other projects get some love. Most of the ones that I've chosen are full coverages, but there are some like mid-sized and one small projects as well, but you will see them in a minute. Before I ramble on further, let's keep going. I have all of them to the side here unzipped. So let's do a quick, hopefully quick, this video might be an hour long. This is like a mini whip parade because it's 19 projects. So first one is this one that I have not touched in a million years, and that has not many stitches in it. So we'll see. Let me pull it out of its... It has not gotten any love yet because the character I chose for it has not rolled any numbers like that. This is where this one is at currently. So this is where we are what we are starting with. Not much, but we'll see if it will get any love or if he will be our outlier that will never be touched. Well, technically he's on the list already with 50 stitches, so if it's only 50, I'm collecting a little bit, because I'm not gonna pull out a full coverage that I'm stitching in 10 for 50 stitches, because I do them in, I don't know, 20 minutes if it takes that long at all. So I will probably collect until it's at least 100 or 150, and then I will do them. Next one you've seen a few times. This is the green jam dragon, and I will put all the projects down below with their names and where to get them if they are still available. And I obviously have not, because this one has 2 bags and I only pulled the one with the cover picture and not the one with the actual project. So let me pause for a second, which I also did for another project. So I pulled that one as well right now. So this one has also already gotten some love this month. This is where it is at. I have moved all the way across to the other side. There's still some fabric left, but I won't need this. This is the width of the width of the project. So this is where we are starting for a comparison. Again, this has already gotten a few hundred stitches this month. So let's put this one aside. Next one I have chosen, and if you hear noises, my cats are playing in the background, is the coffee dragon. This has not gotten any love yet over the course of this little game, but let me show where we're starting. Because you have seen this probably a few times over the past month on my Flosstube. This is where we are starting. This is one of my larger full coverages that I am doing full crosses, because this has a lot of confetti and I am enjoying it very much. I have found that I do like stitching in full cross, but it is unfortunately, of course, taking a lot longer than my usual customary 10 stitch. Let us move on to the next. This also has not gotten any love yet this month in this game. This one, which has not gotten enough love overall, because I've had this for quite a long time and I do believe it is no longer available. That's how old this is. And there is some wild hanging threads going on here. So let's see if we can get some. This is what we are starting with. And we will see how much love this will get. Because this is the nature with these games. Especially with D&D, that you have some people that are quieter than others that will of course then not do as much in the game, so they will not roll as many dice, meaning that their projects might not get as much love. But I did randomly, or like pretty much randomly assign these. I did not go like, oh yeah, this thing needs the most work, so I'm gonna put this on a character that's probably gonna be most active. I just picked 19 projects at random and went down the list and like, this is yours, this is yours, this is yours. So that's how that went. Next one, and you know this is a lot of my dragons, because it's Dungeons and Dragons. I'm also in the mood for many dragons. This is the next one. This is also one of my full coverage, and this is just, I don't have a larger picture, I am sorry. This is also one of my full coverages that at least has some progress, not just 2 or 3%. So, also, please don't get a heart attack. There is a lot of hanging threads that I really need to get into working in, but again, also a project that has not yet gotten worked on this month, because the character has been sitting out. This is where we're starting with. Many hanging threads, and I will be trying to get some of those worked in, because this is these have gotten out of hand, which but I've also like moved away a little from parking and more into stitching by color, like finishing a thread where possible. So we'll see more of that and less hanging threads. And I need to stop speaking while my head's out of the frame. Next one is this one that I have lately been working on. So, sneaky German, but that works for both. This is where this one is at. As you can see, this originally was a lot of parking with the Royal Rose, and I've started to do the typewriter on this as well. Moving across to the other side, color by color. Also trying to use some of the already there threads to work them in. But this is what we're starting with on this one. This also has not gotten any love yet this month, I believe. Not, at least not in this game. Why am I? Yeah, I have my screen on here in front of me. Like my computer is standing behind my phone. I'm filming on my phone, and people are sending me messages in German because I'm German. I text in English with some of my friends and German with some others, and I'm just reading like off-screen German messages popping up, and then I'm starting to speak German. Brain, jumbled mess. Next one is the Spooky Dragon. So this one already did get some love this month. So let me get that out and show you where we're at with it. This is where this one is at. Also, this is the entire width of the project. Like, I like to stitch small, so my full coverages tend to be small. So, and I hope I can screenshot these, otherwise I will have to take pictures later of the progress. Yeah, this is where this one's at. And I'm putting them away, but I'm gonna zip them later, so you don't have to hear that. Okay. Next one. Oh, I did unzip this. This also got a little bit of love, and I think I also posted it on my Instagram when I worked on it earlier this month. The Garlic Dragon already got touched in the game. I need to put this. I'll get a small drink. So and this is one of the few I will keep working on this fabric, because I have discontinued a lot. Like, UFO'd a lot of my projects that are in this fabric. And don't get me wrong, I love this fabric. I also got it from, I got this from my dear friend Dobby, who also had some issues with it, figuring out how to best work it. It's a weird size and it's very soft. So I like it because I like soft fabric, and it's also the only easy count that I have. But for projects and that have a lot of confetti, like many colors, doing 10 stitch on this gets incredibly bulky, and I did not like it anymore. So there's like, I think 3 or 4 full coverages that I had started on this that I UFO'd, because I was just like, no, this isn't working. This one, however, so far it's going fine. And it does not have that many colors, so even when I'm getting to the dragon, I hope I'll still be fine. But for now, this is where this one is at. Definitely needs some more love. But this doesn't have too much confetti, so it's, as long as it doesn't get bulky, it should be fine. And yeah, as you can see, it doesn't look like it has crazy confetti. so we'll probably be good. If not, I will despair, but I will and continue, because as soon as I get to the parts that have a lot of color changes, I will be too far in to UFO it. So, not gonna happen. Next up is one of the non-full coverages, and I have not printed this one out, so I'm gonna show you the tag. This is the finished project, what it's gonna look like, or well, what the original mock-up looks like, because I've changed the colors. This is from All Forest. And I do not even think that I've already showed it on my Flosstube, like not even once. So this is probably the first time you're seeing this. And this is where it's currently at. Not too far, but not too tiny a start either. So as you can see, I changed the colors. This one is gonna have greens, like 2 greens, 1 purple, a variegated black, and a variegated silver, which the silver is very light, so it's hard to see on the green. But I think overall it is gonna be fine. So you can see it's disappearing a little bit, especially if you're looking at it from further away. But I think like in the parts that it will be silver, it won't matter too much. And when I get into the dragons and I think it's not visible enough, I will probably change and use a different color. But for now, with the flowers, I think it's fine. This is also a fabric that I dyed myself. It's I think it's one of the cheap even weaves that I got from AliExpress. It's a very soft, I love these fabrics. I love stitching on them. And I've tried to get more of it. They sell it as Aida, but somebody told me there is no such thing as 28 count Aida. At that point it's an even weave. I don't care. I love it. I've tried to get more of it, but I just can't seem to get it. The last time I tried to order the same fabric from the same seller, it was completely different. And it was still fabric I like, but it's not this quality fabric, unfortunately. Next one is my restart of the irises and dragonflies. And this already got a tiny bit of love, because I had started this on linen originally, and that I did not like that anymore, like stitching on that with the full coverage 10 stitch. So I started this on a but this definitely is an Aida. I think it's a 20 count, and this is a full cross. So this is where this one and my project just fell over. This is what this one is at, what we're going with. Also trying to work the colors in and then color complete by strand, like choose by the typewriter, choose the next color in the first row and then color complete the strand. And these are long strands because it's 1 strand, like 1 over 1 full cross. And even this gets a little bulked up here. You can see even if it's full cross, like on just 1 strand, but not to a point that bothers me. Not like using tent. I used this fabric for another project, stitching 201 tent on it, and that just got too bulky as well and scrunched the fabric up. So I was like, the only way I can use this count Aida will be 1 over 1 full cross. So that's what I'm doing with this one. So we will see where we end up with this. When we get to it. want to start from the other side because they all fell over. Next one is going to be, and I'm trying to be quick because again it's a lot. Fantasy Home. Putting it back in. So this also already got some love this month. It is on the, now this is a little bit of a, this is one count less, so 22 probably. And I don't know, I got all of these from, all of these are mystery fabrics to me because I got them in a pack. There was no description on it, what size they are. But this is where this one is at. I moved over here and started with the tower of the little house. So this is what we're going with. And where we get to with this project by the end of November and then by the end of December. So I need to figure out how to put all of these to the side without causing even more chaos on my desk. Next one is also not a full coverage. This one, the Deadly Aquarium. And I hope my voice isn't gonna give out. I'm still having a cold, so mainly sniffles. Where I'm at with this is, I hope I can get it fully in frame, is this one. And I did a lot in, let me fold it up again, at least partially. So I have worked in the bottom part. This is also super soft. So how am I best gonna hold this up to just show what I want to show? Difficult. The bottom part. Now that is better. So the pond is progressing. That's what I worked on this month already. Now I need to fold this back up properly. This is such a lovely fabric. It is a Hardanger. It's printed. So you can see the other side is just blue and this one is printed. It's technically more of a sky than water, but it was the most fitting I had for this project. And I personally like it. I think it might as well be water. So this is where this one is at. Let me put it away. It also needs some more stitches. There's 50 that are still on the list. So I'm gonna get to that. This one I believe has not gotten any love so far. My purple snake. And this is also stitched 2/110. I started this in full cross and then decided nope, this has little enough color to work perfectly in 10, and you cannot really see where it changed. If you get close in on it and smooch it, then yes, you can see where the change is. But this is just the top corner, so when I hold it back here, I don't think you can even see it. And you probably won't be able to see it when it's done. So, not yet worked on in this game. This is what we are starting with. So very nice and soft even weave that I'm doing this one on. And it has all the blues and purples, all the beautiful colors that I like. Next up is I did put in as I should, my biggest whip currently in the lineup that I have been considering UFOing because it is massive and it is confetti central in some parts, but I like it too much, so I have decided to keep going with it, even if it's bulky, even if it's gonna be a tapestry. It will work out in the end, I'm sure. Let me get the hanging threads in order at least a little bit. This is where we are at. There's the bottom. As this is like, let me see. This is long, but not high. So this is the entire height, but I have not reached the width. We will see how wide this is when I continue all the way across when this one comes up. But so far, a closer. We're working in the top. And this is where this one will start. Has gotten a little bit of love already, not too much. So we will see how much it will get. There's a lot of floss in this bag. I doubt it fits. The cover picture back in. You see this is thick. There's so much floss in here. Now, my second largest and one of my oldest that I've also added into the mix. I'm banging my floss cards. Don't do that. Just rip this part off. It's not needed. This one. You've seen this a few times if you're returning. This is my passion project, which is what this is aptly named. Passion. I guess you can see why. This is my own artwork. I am not drawing as much as I should be lately. Kind of fell off of that a little bit. I'm lacking the motivation and the inspiration, but I do it from time to time still. And let's see. Show you the full thing because this is what we're doing today. This is where it's at and it's full glory. It continues a little bit down there, but there's nothing there yet. So this is what we're going with. It has gotten a bit of love already. I'm currently like filling in all of this background. The quote-unquote boring part. But since I have switched to the typewriter method, which I like very much, this is obviously the topmost part because all of these pages are done. So either way, going by pages or going by rows, there will be more page finishes up here. Hopefully soon. Just not in the frequency, but I like how this method is not giving me columns because you can see them here, the lines, they are very visible, as is the page break here. It's not as bad in the hair, but they are there. But here it is very obvious, and I hope they will even from them, you can see them even from afar. I am not too upset about this because again, I was a beginner. I didn't know any better when I started this project is old, and I get them with my newer projects as well, unfortunately, because Royal Rose is what I've been doing and that is what's been happening. So I hope that switching methods to the typewriter and color complete by strands will alleviate that. But we will see. We will see. This is also thick. There's so much floss in this. And, well, and a lot of fabric. Let me get my coffee before it gets cold. It already is. Almost. So this one, but we're almost at the end. 4 more left. This one is also, I don't have a printout inside. So I'll show you the tag. It's a little, sorry for the glare. This is what this one will look like. And this is tiny. As in the project is not, obviously. It has a little under 100,000 stitches total. But it is on this tiny count. I don't know what count this is. 30 something must be. I don't know which one exactly, but it is a 30 something. And I'm stitching this 1/110. That's how small the count is. And where I started up here with the Royal Rose method, let's see, top corner. Even with just one strand, 10 stitch, it is bulky as all hell. This is crazy. It's so thick. I can't even show you, but it is very thick, and it is getting a line all the way here between the first 10 by 10, like the first 10 row and the next. It doesn't show up on camera, but it's there. And the coverage is amazing. Well, it's a little light on the dark colors over here where her hair is starting. But this is the entire width of the project. It ends here. That is how wide it is. It's tiny. It's gonna be long. I don't know how long yet. I haven't made my way to the bottom. This is where this is at. I'm working on working the threads in, but I've gone rogue and started working on the hair because I felt like it. So I'm not fully sticking to my own rules, as you can see. But this already got a little bit of work on the hair. And then I will continue to be working on the hair a little bit next time it comes up, before I go back to the top. Or maybe I will just go back to the top. We'll see when it comes up. You can hold me to that at the end of November, because I certainly do hope it will get some more love this month. Let me finish this coffee. Maybe I'll cut this out. I don't know. So, next one is the smallest project in the lineup. Also one of my model stitches. This is the Beehive Sampler. Not very autumny, I know, but this whole lineup isn't necessarily in season, and it doesn't have to be. So this also already got a little bit of love. I think about 250 stitches, which is a lot for a project this small. That only has a little under 6,000 in total. This is where it's at. Whoops, I dropped it. This is the current state. I did this little beehive here, outlines, and a little more outlines. So, beehive. Why did I choose this and everything else is full coverages? Because the character that gets this is, wouldn't necessarily call him a beekeeper, but he is a little bit of a beekeeper. He has bees, so it's a little hobby of his that he's not very good at. So I thought that was perfectly fitting. Next one is the Dragons and Apples, and I think this is also very popular, so you've probably seen this. It's also got a little bit of love already. stitching this on an Ada that I also believe probably 20 something count, 20 or 22, that I dyed myself with purple red dye. This is where we are at. Did a little bit on it already for this game, like finish it. My words today are more crazy than my brain. Finish this egg and started on the tail of this baby here, going further here. So I love this one, and I am glad I put it in the game. The coverage is not perfect on the black, but I think if you hold it far enough away, you won't see it. But there's a little bit of fabric peeking through. And obviously, change the colors. Not using gray and red. I'm using purple and green. Sticking with the black where it should be. Also like a variegated purple and a variegated green. And last but not least in our lineup is the Crystal Keeper, which also apt being a fairy dragon for a fairy character. Like that character, she is a literal fairy, and wings and all, tiny girl. So she obviously had to get the fairy dragon. And this is where we're at. Just slowly moving across, but with this one also focusing a little bit on stitching colors in more than just moving across, because there is a lot of confetti in this one. And it would be a little bit too difficult to just do the typewriter. So, and there's a lot of 310. So I might just do a lot of 310 in the days to come whenever this one comes up. So I can eventually... This one was also started in full cross at the top. And then it was like, I will never finish this if I keep doing full cross. So let's do 10. And I switched it. And I think with this one, it was only the first few blocks that were done in full crosses. And I hope I will not regret changing it. But as in having it get too bulky with the confetti. But we'll see. Should be fine. It is a lot of confetti, like color changes, but they do stay a little contained within their confetti. So we'll see. But that is all 19 projects that I have chosen for this game. I do still have a few stitches that I need to do before the the respective group comes back up. So I'll see if I can do that. I don't want it to collect too much. Excuse me. So I don't want my backlog to get too big. So I'll fall off and can't keep up, because for now this is really fun. And it is like I'm having enough variety in the whips I'm working on to not get bored, if that makes sense. So now that I've talked about it, we'll see if I'll be able to keep up with it, because that's also a thing with me. As soon as I talk about something, I have the habit of dropping it for some reason. Don't ask me why. But yeah, which brings us to plans. My plan is to continue this at least until, like, as it is now, at least until the end of December. So I will come back at the end of November unless anything happens that prevents me from filming again. So no weekly videos for the coming future. That's we have a lot of conventions coming up. It's pre-Christmas season. I just can't, and I'm probably gonna be constantly sick, because markets, conventions, you go there, you get all of whatever people are bringing there, like the hundreds of people you talk with on that day, and my immune system is not the best. because I work from home. I'm not like subject to a lot of whatever little nasties are out there. So whenever I am surrounded by a ton of people, I obviously pick shit up. So that's gonna happen. Then I will also come back at the end of December, probably before Christmas, because there will obviously not be games during Christmas because, well, most people are busy at Christmas. So, and then I will hopefully do a full whip parade on New Year's, or like 1 or 2 days after New Year's. This time I really want to do my whip parade, my end of the year whip parade at the end of the year this time, not in February, not in November, not in, you know, at the end of the year, so I have a clear cut. And I hope, that's another plan, that I can get all of my current whips into my Notion before then. I still have 1.5 months. Most of them are in there. I have one shelf left that I haven't yet. Just so for me that I know everything that I have. So it will be easier for me to track stitches also. Because I want to try that again. Obviously I also have like paper, like magazine patterns where I cannot easily track the stitches and I don't have the total and everything, so those will be out. But most of my patterns like that I have, most of my whips, I have in markup, and I want to get back to tracking them. I want to do it. It's fun, but it's also easy to fall off of it for me, because it quickly gets to feel like a little bit more like a chore than actually something interesting. So we'll see how that goes. No promises. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it in the way of plans. And oh yeah, major thing, and I also something that I hope will work out. I want to do a no spend next year. And I know I've said it before, but I also feel like I've been way too strict with that, because for me, I was like, no, I'm not gonna have any new starts, I'm not gonna buy anything new and such. So I want to make this more of a stitch from stash situation. I do have a ton of whips. I think I'm only a little short of 100. For some, that's still way within reasonable boundaries. For some, that's already, are you crazy? And I'm somewhere veering in between. I don't think it's a major problem, but I am at a point where it's hard for me to keep everything organized and not forgetting what I have, what I'm already working on. So for me, I need to accept the fact that it's probably too much, that I should, if anything, be more around the 50 or 60 mark, if at all, maybe even 40-ish. So will I start new things? Probably. Will I buy new things? I will try my best not to, because like I said, I'm also a pattern designer. I make my own patterns. I have to stop trying to model stitch all of them because I just can't. It's too much. But it also means I have an infinite supply of patterns. I don't need to buy new patterns. I already have hundreds in the backline that I want to stitch, both because I like bought single patterns on Etsy or other pattern designers' sites. I had a magazine subscription for over a year that I saved everything from that interested me. I have bought a stack of magazines on a flea market. I have books, like stitch pattern books that I want to stitch from. I have things fully kitted up. I have things partially kitted up. I have an entire drawer full of multiples of CXC floss. Like I had the entire color, like all of the colors, most of which is already in all of my projects, but I still have hundreds of skeins of CXC floss, most of the colors, not all the colors, but most of them. And whenever I kitted up something new to start, I bought the colors that I was missing. And if you don't know, if you buy a CXC directly from China, like from AliExpress usually, they come in packs of 10. You do not buy a single skein, you always get 10. And obviously you use some colors more than others, like 310 or blank or the B5200 or whatever. And some colors you don't. You technically only use one skein in your entire lifetime because maybe it's not a color scheme that you gravitate towards. Like me with the greens and purples, I have so many greens and purples because I love greens and purples, but if I need like a pink for a project, then I have 9 more skeins of pink and I don't usually stitch with pink. So what I'm going to do is I also have 2 large tubs of fabric sitting right next to me. What I'm gonna do next year in regards of new starts, I will kit up things that I want to start as far as I can kit them up. And I have a list of those kitted up projects and the floss they are missing, like the colors they are missing. And whenever I finish something on my whip shelf, so I can dekit it because it's finished and can put the colors back into their little baggies with the unused skeins, I can use those colors to distribute them between the not fully kitted up projects on my other shelf. And once I have one of those projects fully kitted up, because all of the colors have come from finished projects, then I can start that. And I think that's like a smart idea for me personally, to still be able to start new things, but also not get more whips in. Like I have 50 now, so next year I will have 100 because I just start things and don't finish them. I hope I hope that was very rambly, but I hope it made sense to you. And so I have 2 stacks in my kit shelf. One that has all the fully kitted up things, and that I can start at any time because everything's there, the fabric, all of the floss colors, everything. So whenever I feel like I need to start something new, I have this urge to, I don't know, shiny new thing, then I can pick one of those as long as I have any of those. And the others that are not fully kitted, obviously I cannot start them yet until all of the colors come from somewhere else and be put in there. I will buy, or I have ordered some sets of DMC because I want to, and as for now I am almost exclusively working with CXC, but again, I'm a pattern designer. I am trying to stitch my own models, and I have done most of my own models so far, but I want to try and stitch some new patterns that I come up with actual DMC floss, just to make sure they are like 100% accurate before I release them. If I fully stitch them or just use those flosses to color match, like to choose colors, I don't know yet. But that is technically a business expense, so I'm not counting that into my no spend for cross stitch because business expenses are separate. But so and I will use those exclusively for model stitching. I will not use them in my personal projects because they are hella expensive here in Germany. It's crazy. You almost pay €2 per skein for DMC depending on where you buy it. So that's gonna be an exclusive for my model stitching. And the last thing that I wanted to mention, which is also plans, hopefully at least, there are 2 ladies that are organizing a new stitch retreat here in Europe, very close to me actually. It's going to be in the Netherlands. It is only 100 kilometers from where I live, because I live fairly close to the border, so very easy to go to. For me, I can just drive there. 100 kilometers is not that far. I think probably gonna take me an hour by car to go there, so I could technically even go without spending the night, just like drive to and from and sleep at home. But I am hoping to hear more from them soon, and like as soon as I know how expensive it's gonna be, like if I can make it with my limited budget, then I will apply, because I've never been to a retreat. Most of them are way too far away from me. Like there was one in Basel once, but that's all the way across the country and then in another country, so quite far, about 6 hours away, or in Britain, and then I'd either have to fly or like take ferry or anything. That's obviously a lot more expensive than just driving 100 kilometers across the border to the Netherlands. So I'm hoping it's gonna happen. I'm hoping I'll be able to afford it, and I'm hoping I'm gonna get a spot. I also mentioned that I am interested in applying as a vendor, because I am a pattern designer. I usually mainly sell PDF patterns, but I've also made kits. If you've ever like checked my Etsy shop, or if you're returning, you know, you've seen them. I shared them. I'm not doing that very frequently, but I am absolutely willing and able to like print out a ton of paper patterns, get kits ready, make some more needle minders to like have them for a retreat. So I don't know anything definite yet. I've just mentioned it in my I am interested email that they were asking for people to send, to see if it's even feasible to organize one. Apparently there is a lot of interest, which is great. I love to hear that. So we'll see what's gonna happen to that, and I'll obviously keep you updated. My dear friend Dobby also wants to go, so maybe that is going to be the time that we finally meet in person. Despite living in the same country, we never did that, but we live in opposite ends of the country, so even with Germany not being that large, I don't travel much. But yeah, that's enough rambling. Not much happening in regards of life updates, because again, convention season's happening. I've been sick, and well, I've also been a little stressed because my car is due for inspection this Wednesday, so we'll take it to the garage tomorrow and then hopefully be able to take it home on Wednesday. But it is a 20-year-old car, so there is a chance that it's not gonna pass inspection for the next 2 years, and then I will have a major problem. So please keep your fingers crossed for me that I will still have a car next time we talk. But yeah, so far everything's looking good, as far as I know, but I'm willing to do some repairs if necessary. But yeah, with old cars, you never know, and I tend to be an anxious person that is overthinking stuff way too much. So yeah, that's it for me, and I hope you enjoyed this little excursus into my crazy plans, and I will see you all at the end of November, which is gonna be in 3 weeks, I believe. Today is the 10th, Let me check my calendar. In 3 weeks. Yeah, in 3 weeks. So let's hope I manage that. And it has been an hour, not as long as I was fearing with showing off 19 projects, but I have been quick. So I will now go and edit, as far as editing goes. Not much to edit for this one, but I will love you and leave you, and hope you did get some stitching done while watching, if that's what you tend to do. And yeah, have a great rest of your day. Have a great week if you're watching this when it comes out on Monday. And yeah, love to see you here again. Thank you for spending your time with me. And if you enjoyed your time here, please do leave a like and subscribe. It will mean the world to me. And leave me a comment, maybe, which of the projects you're most excited to see progress on. And which, oh yeah, this is a fun thing. Maybe give your estimate, because I am counting stitches on all of these. All of these will be tracked. Which project will get the most stitches in by the end of November? And let me know if you're interested about hearing something about the winning character for the month. How about that? If not, that's fine as well. I don't mind. Let me know. And I will probably put that at the end, so only the people that are actually interested will hear it, and everybody else can switch off. So I think that is a good idea. Let me know in the comments below. Are you interested in seeing? Give me your thoughts. Which project will be the winner? And do you want to hear about the character I assigned it to and how they managed to win this tiny little contest? But until then, well, obviously, mainly luck, but because it's the roll of a die. It is always the roll of the die. But now I will sign off. I'm gonna go wake my friend. I'm gonna have breakfast, and then I'll upload this video, and you will, well, you'll see it. Bye-bye.